Hey, everybody. We are ready to go. Matter of fact, we're more than ready to go. We're starting a little bit on the early side because we got two guys here, and this is going to be a good show. I can tell you that already. I can get my stuff to work. There it goes. If y'all remember right, we were talking about the Scarlet Lady, talking about the guy who built it and a guy who right now is refurbishing it, and I got him on here. It's Joe Sullens and Dale. I screwed up your name before, Dale. Stickle. So we're gonna jump right in with these two guys because there's something. There's something. All right. And there they are. If I get this out of the way. There you go. Dang it. Get out of the way. Hey, boys.
Hey, how you doing, Dink?
Oh man. This is gonna be an interesting story. I can tell you that right now. I mean, let's get back to your first one you built. You was telling me just a few minutes ago.
The first one I built, I bought in '72. I worked at Coleman Young Dodge with my brother Skip, and it was a long wheelbase 127 window van. I bought it brand new in '72. It was a '73, and right away I started doing the interior and curtains and darken the windows and custom paint and fat tires on it, and then I decided because the guy down the street had built some vans and he had a little shop in Menor. I forgot the name. You remember the name of that shop there in the corner? Curtin Road and Route 20, but he had a old vintage van he built. Wasn't finished. And I said, man, I got to build me one of those. So,
oh yeah, it was Buckeye Street vans.
Yeah. Then I said to my brother, Skip, you want to buy this van? He said, yeah. I said, I went out and bought a new one. That was Scarlet Lady. I bought that in '73, but it was a '74. I bought it totally naked, empty, and took it down to my dad's garage and tore it apart right away. That's where she started. And after that, it's a long, long road. 3 different changes, 3 different workovers. Started in a small garage, and I got in business with the guys at T&J Custom Vans. I rolled down there with that truck when I had an interior, my first interior, and these guys had a shop. I said, wow, you want to work down here? And I said, well, I already work, but I said, I'd like to get into business because I like the vans. And so I got into business with a guy named John Clauser and a guy named Tim Zeiss. And that's when I started doing all van stuff, building nothing but vans.
Now, he's telling me that the window van that you had, that's the same one Junior Samet's got.
That's procrastination. That's correct.
Procrastination.
My brother bought that for me and drank a few fifths and said, I think I'll chop the top. And we didn't have MIG welders back then, Dink. We had torches.
Gas
weld. We welded with coat hangers. We didn't use brass. A lot of guys were using brass. And that brass would lift your plastic in a matter of 2-3 years. You'd have bubbles all over.
Yeah.
You're
right on that.
Steel welding, and everything that was chopped and done by us was all done with a torch. Scarlet Lady was warped from one end to the other. Because, I welded everything. That truck has more welding on it you could imagine.
Really? Where at?
We got some pictures of the later. Joe's got some pictures here of the later Scarlet Lady. It changed a lot from the pictures you have. A whole lot.
I noticed that.
The pictures don't do anything to the paint job. The paint job was glowing in the moonlight and the sunlight. But anyhow, I enjoy building them. If my hands were better and I felt a little more breathing capacity, I'm going to help Joe finish Scarlet Lady.
I do, yeah. I'm excited about it. And I want to keep up with that too, with the build, if you don't mind.
Whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
All right. Good deal. I got one here. I got one asking me a question here.
All right. We'll answer questions.
So who is the Scarlet Lady?
Who is the Scarlet Lady? Wow.
Which one?
I had a lot of them. I could give you a lot of names. There's a row of them. Really, the Scarlet Lady. I liked redheads. So I just came up Scarlet Lady. I don't know how I came up with that name. I really don't. But the original, the girls on the side, the girls that we have pictures of here, the later girls, the blonde, that was just a thing out of my artist's head. Mark Urich, he was a phenomenal artist. And he worked for my shop. And he did all the artwork. He was really good. It's a shame he quit doing it because when he started by now, the guy was phenomenal back then.
You had 2 different vans, Scarlet Lady and the Scarlet Lady 2, right?
Well, that was the same van, but yeah, we just rebuilt it. We went from stripping it down to, I even got some pictures here when I gutted the wheel wells and started all over like with Joe here. When Joe brought it to me, Joe takes it out and has it all stripped down to nothing. I said, Joe, he's got to start all over again. I should have left some of it in there, you know.
I didn't.
But I had to start all over from scratch. So, you know, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of plastic work in that truck. But
wow, you really can't tell. I mean, well, later on, because let me show this one.
yeah.
Well, that's the one of the original renditions. It still has door handles. It's got the stock mirrors. It's got the two-piece vent window glass.
Yeah.
It's got the porthole window. Those are not welded. That stuff's all like aftermarket bolt-in.
Yeah.
The front bumper is not welded in. There's a lot going on there that's way different now.
Yeah, I know you shaved the marker lights and everything off of it later on.
Yep, and then there's no door handles, and then the windows are now one piece. If you look at some of those later pictures, I think it shows some of them as one piece.
This
is Dale. I don't know if you can see this or not. That's Dale working on the back fender with a torch.
When I was redoing it for Scarlet Lady 2.
That's how he put it together.
Stripped it back out.
There was no MIG welder.
Those were steel. Those were conduit tubing welded in the fenders.
Yeah, he took like electrical EMT conduit, smashed it flat.
Right.
And they used that for the rib around the window or around the wheel opening.
That's the fender flares.
That's the flare, and then it's all welded in by hand with the torch.
And that's about what year was that?
That was
this would be about 78, 79, somewhere right around.
Yeah, right there, 77, 78, 79, somewhere around.
Oh, okay. That's before he hit the magazine I got.
Yeah, well, we got some.
Well, that's like when those pictures took place. Those pictures were probably taken in 78 or late 77, and
Englishtown, New Jersey.
and then by the time the magazine, he had already been changing it and going into the next rendition.
Because I was waiting in the line at Englishtown, New Jersey, and we took a long ride up there. There was about Cleveland van. There was about 50 of us. We were waiting in line to get in. We were there before they opened, and we were all feeling no pain.
Yeah, well.
I come back to my truck, and he goes, I'm from blah, blah, blah magazine. I'd like to take some pictures of your truck. It's so pretty, and it's coming up sunlight. And I go, yeah, I'm Superman. I go, look inside, man. It's full of a bunch of junk. There's cases of beer. There's coolers.
And that happened to be Peterson's Vans and Trucks.
I told the guy,
really?
I said, you can take some pictures. He said, I don't have a color film, man, but I want to get some shots of this truck. And I said, I'll never find you in there. So we were unloading this truck, Crazy Ed and all of us, unloading all the junk out of my truck while this guy, and let the guy take pictures while we were sitting in line.
Wow, that's cool.
It was a pretty nice layout too. He gave me a centerfold and everything in the magazine.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, there's a lot of magazines. It was in like 20 nationwide magazines. I don't have all of them. One of my wives cut them into pieces, some of them.
Oh, don't you love that?
Yeah, I love it.
I have a couple of those myself.
You notice he said one of his wives.
Yeah, one of my wives.
Yeah, one of them.
One of the wives. Like I said, there's a lot of trucks. My shop, there's a lot of trucks that came out of my shop. There's a lot of vans and Servants a lot. 30 Saturday Night Special.
Really?
Clockwork Orange. God, help me, Sharkman, help me.
Well,
Pop in the back of the head. Get him started.
yeah, Dust in the Wind, the one he did back in 78 or 79, that just surfaced last year at the Cleveland Autorama untouched. Like,
Really?
they never redid it, and they were still showing it.
Don't forget Comfortably Numb.
Yeah,
Oh,
and then
yeah,
you got Comfortably Numb. That was a Chevy that had a
All right.
cruiser. It had
Skip built the front and
it
back.
had
That
the
was
front. In
fancy.
fact, if you look at the taillights of the Comfortably Numb, they look just like Procrastination. They're very similar.
Yeah,
For real.
Yeah, they're real similar.
you can tell
That
our-
guy's out of Florida. He's
Yeah.
down in Florida now. His name is
Bill.
Bill Giroux.
Yeah, Bill Giroux.
But anyhow, back in the day, if I recall right, and I used to hang at that shop quite a bit, there was probably anywhere from 100 to maybe 200 vans that they produced through that shop in a period of about 5 years.
It's a
For real.
there, though.
Yeah, here's a couple pictures. This was a picture of Bill Giroux's truck That's comfortably numb. Gull-wing doors, split grille front.
Back end was real.
The back end had a single drop-down tailgate like a station wagon. And then he had those taillights stuffed in between.
Yeah, pictures of everything.
Here, yeah, here's a picture of Dust in the Wind.
Oh,
That's-
yeah. Oh,
that's
yeah.
58. That's Dale built that truck back in 78, 79. That was for a guy named Joe Carroll. And then here's the latest pictures. These are the ones
That's a
that
pretty
Dale
one.
was alluding to. This was the picture of the last rendition of the one he had on the side.
With the inlaid windows, those are
And
all
if-
hand-built windows.
And if you,
Yeah, I was noticing that too.
yeah, the heart, that's all steel. That's not a bolt in. That's a steel welded 3-inch insert, ground edges, and then plastic fill to make it smooth.
Uh-huh.
And then if you look at the paint, I affectionately refer to this color as Christmas ball tree red. You know, it looks just
Yeah.
like a Christmas bulb. It's so like bright and iridescent.
Crazy, yeah.
And then if we got another one here, this was what it looked like at the end. That's what the truck looked like. It was like a hockey stripe on the side. It had the candy on the hockey stripe, and then the rest of the truck was Cadillac red, I believe, at that time.
66 Cadillac. And the wheels were built by Fenton Wheel Company. They had heart cutouts in them. They gave me,
Was that specially made?
yes, it was. They gave me
Oh.
special, every year they gave me wheels. And the spinners I made, there were 63 vet spinners. I made them to screw on. And
I want to back up a little bit too, to make sure I mention the people, how this got to be where it is today. Doug Nikinen from Canada, his name is Astro. He sent a message to Raleigh Eldred in Ashtabula, Ohio, and said, "Hey, don't you know something about this truck?" And so what happened was Raleigh then called Dale. Dale wasn't in a position to finish the truck at that particular moment, and I was like chomping at the bit, salivating to get the truck. And Raleigh called me, and then I went down to a place called drmopar.com, and it was a junkyard in Niederwald, Texas. And I took 2 weeks off. I drove down there. I picked up the truck, drove it back. It's a very interesting story about going down there to pick it up. The guy, we made a deal. I sent him the check. I go down to get the truck. I rented a U-Haul trailer. Well, on the way down there, I was using my brother-in-law's truck and had to replace all 4 tires because they were bouncing like a basketball. I couldn't even drive the thing. So it gets better. So I get down there, I get the truck, I get it on the trailer. I'm coming back to my friend Tom Shutak's house, who I stayed down there for a moment. And I pull into his driveway. He goes, "Hey, do you smell gas?" I go, "Yeah." The gas tank split. So by the time I got back, it only cost me about $2,400 of repairs
Oh, Jesus.
to get the vehicle back. But that's a long story short right there of how that all happened. But it all started out with a phone call, and you could call it a as you've well said, vanner to vanner, vanner friend to vanner friend.
Oh, yeah.
Flows, and I'm grateful today. The truck has been a long time coming. I picked it up in 2008. It's been 12 years. But if you know anything about me, Dink, I tend to take on more projects than I can do at one time, and
no, really?
that was one. and I I've done several rental houses in between then. I've business with my sister. We've bought another building, refurbished buildings.
You just like to keep busy. That's all.
And it's 24/7. It don't go away. But I will promise you and anybody else that's listening that truck will get done. It will get done.
I believe you. I do believe you. And
When it'll get done might be a when question, but it will get done. Did you got a hold of all them pictures I gave you, right?
Yeah, I got them. Let me see. Now,
That's how I found it in Niederwald, Texas. That's in the junkyard.
That's junkyard version.
So you see that silver hockey stripe?
Yeah.
That was
Well,
candy red.
That was candy red. The Texas sun burned that candy right off.
Really?
Burned it right off the
Yeah.
truck. Yeah. Because here, let's go back. If you can just clear that picture for a second.
Okay.
All right. See
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
So that's what it looked like when it hit the junkyard. And the sun burned that paint right because the Texas sun's so hot.
The lettering was chrome leaf.
Yeah. Huh?
The lettering was chrome leaf, like gold leaf.
Right.
It was on the side.
And it was like roached. It was like melted. It was
Yeah.
still.
How about the pipes? The pipes are really important. Skip
Well-
a lot of time building them pipes.
Yeah, I don't know if you could see those or not, and I'll try to get it as close to the camera. You see that little silver dot down by the bottom?
Yeah. I
of the
was
door?
going to ask about those pipes.
Well, that's actually Skip built those for Dale. Those were actually made out of an old Dodge bumper.
For real.
He took two halves of it and then he curled them around like a heart. And those were actually, as they were exiting the side of the vehicle, they're actually heart shaped. So they go from round to a heart shape, and then that silver puck that you see on the side is actually a stainless steel cap, like a cutout.
Uh-huh.
You could uncap it and let the headers dump straight out.
I raced it with
He used to
those
race the truck like that with those off.
That's kind of loud, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice and loud.
Yeah. 340, 335.
Loud pipes, stabilized, you know.
Yeah, loud. A few times, with all honesty. Didn't we, Joe?
Yeah. So then if you look at some of those other pictures that are on there, I have some of in the driveway. Yeah, that's see how the bumper's molded in?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the last rendition of the truck. Now, if you look at them headlights too, those came out of what, a 58 Continental?
68 Chrysler Imperial.
Chrysler Imperial. So they're on a tilt. They're sideways.
Remember the ones that had
Yeah.
the rim around them? Yeah, those are ones. My dad went to the junkyard. Old Samet. In fact, Junior Samet's dad's junkyard is where we bought them from. Cut them right out of the front of the Chrysler.
Is that right?
The guy bent the bumper pulling the motor out, though.
Yeah.
No, we fixed all
We
that.
fixed all that.
That's all straightened
That
out.
was all welded into there was a lot of steel welding there, Dink.
Ah.
Those fender flares and stuff were all tubing. There's a lot of steel welding on that truck.
And
Tons.
so you flattened out conduit to make those?
Yeah,
Yeah.
flattened conduit, the stuff you put in the walls to run your wires through. Yep.
Yeah, 3/4 inch.
In the
Conduit.
back, 3/4 in the back, half inch in the
Half
front.
inch in the front, yeah, and then when you looked, like Dale couldn't handle it, he had to find out like you see these bubbles and everything from the junkyard.
Yeah.
Dig in there. Guess what it was? It was the factory seams that let go, not his work.
My work still was in good
His
shape.
work was still tight because he had covered it with Duraglass and Tiger Hair and really sealed it in tight, but it was actually the factory seams that were letting go.
Until Joe got it. Then Joe took it all out.
And I cut every ounce of rust out of that. There's no rust left on this vehicle whatsoever. It's shiny black underneath. It looks like brand new. In fact, I'm going to throw one out here for Dave Brooks. When Dave Brooks was going to his technical college, he was here at my house helping me. That's when we were doing the bottom of the truck. That was probably, I'm going to say 2010. Somewhere around there, 2011, and we probably spent, I'm not exaggerating, I'll bet you we got 150 hours under that
Did all
truck.
the floors and stuff.
Every square inch of that floor has been replaced that was rusted. Anything that was rusted was fixed. And those are Vega taillights. And
Yes,
then,
74 acres welded in.
and then Dale made those, if you look at those white things, those were actually ruby red Plex at one time with purple plexiglass center hearts. And
Sun just baked them, didn't it?
yeah, the sun just baked them,
Yeah,
baked that
sun
plastic.
cooked
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that-
you can tell that rust hole is right there. That is on the seam.
That's right on the seam. Every place where there were major holes through this truck was either at a floor line where it was touching the body or where the seams overlapped. All of Dale's work, all of his tubing was basically what was holding the truck together.
You got that right.
Yeah, I believe it, man. I believe it.
Those scoops are, a guy told me back 40 years ago, you can't fiberglass mat scoops to a metal hood. It'll never work. Well, there it is. There it
They're
is.
the-
Like it did, don't it?
Yeah, and those are 30 years old.
Just like the side scoop stink, those are off a 1971 Trans Am. out of the hood. Remember the 71 Trans Am with the
Uh-huh.
scoop? If you look at the side of the truck, those are the scoops that I
Let's see.
molded into the side of the truck. Me and my brother.
Let's see. I got them here somewhere. I thought.
Well, that's the Heart wheel.
Yeah, that's another thing. Are y'all going to try to rechrome those or?
Well, I found an 8-inch pair in Canada. I told the guy I wanted them. He had them actually in a storage container, and he only had 2 of them.
See, after they hit my truck, they gave.
Well,
they
I don't think
produced
there's
them.
many of them out there, but they're not from Fenton. I think there's another company that made them as a knockoff or duplicated that rim. But I did find a company, Cal Chrome, in California. They will take those and they'll redo them.
They were pretty when they were shiny.
Yeah, they're not going nowhere. That's for sure. Those are for the truck.
It's kind of like one of a kind deal there, ain't it?
They sure are. They sure are. In
Yeah.
fact, it's a crazy story too, because the good old boy from Niederwald, Texas, that owned Dr. Mopar, that's why he bought that truck, because he wanted to take those wheels and put them on his girlfriend's truck.
Really?
Yeah, that's why he bought the
Didn't make
van. Well, no, because once I found out it was down there, it was not even a matter of 2 weeks, and I was down there picking it up.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Now, this looks like a problem.
Well,
Wow.
there's your Texas Sun for you. That was a vinyl roof.
Yeah.
If they would have glued the seam, Dink, that would have never happened. The center seam of those vinyl tops, if you don't keep a sealer in there, the water gets in that seam to the padded roof and by roof.
Well, what happens too in Texas, if you think about it, the sun is so blistering, even if it blisters and cracks the vinyl because of the hot sun, then the sponge rubber underneath of it, the padding, it soaks in water, and then that just acts, it just rots right through the
Needless to
truck.
say, Dink, we put a new roof on it, me and Joe.
Yeah, it's got.
Yeah. Yeah.
I took one. Actually, believe it or not, we took one out of an '89, and it fit.
Yeah,
89?
Yep, and it fit.
except the windshield part.
Yeah, the windshield didn't fit, but the back part did. From let's say from that accent strip back, it fit. It's the same width.
Let me get to these pictures here then.
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
yeah. That's showing you how deep I got into it. I mean, we took the rot out of it.
Hey, Joe, did I do all that shit?
Yeah, that was in your driveway. As a matter of fact.
God. Oh, crap.
Yeah.
Look at that thing.
Now, Dink, when somebody wants to look at your show, all they got to do is just look up you on Facebook, right?
Right. I mean, you can hit me on. I think you can still see me on YouTube. But I think it comes in later, and you can't comment.
Right. He just wants to. My brother-in-law wants to look at it.
Oh, he wants to watch it. Yeah, he
Well,
just
yeah,
needs to go to my Dink page on Facebook, and he can comment whatever.
Just tell him that. Just give him a message.
Yeah. Any other
you know,
thing?
Huh?
I say, you got anything else, buddy?
Just
We got
Oh
tons.
yeah, hang on. I got a June bug.
yeah. Roy.
That's the mirrors. Did you see the mirrors that Skip built on there?
Yeah, Junebug's asking a question.
Yeah, he says, "Hey Joe, June bug, good luck on the build."
Yep. Well, Junebug, actually, you have his truck on your front page. That's the hot box.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's
Bad.
that Texas girl you got in her back door. That's Junebug's truck.
Okay. Wow.
So when I was telling you about those windows, this was the front cover of Sport Trucking, and if you look at that, that's the one-piece glass. And if you look at the mirrors on there,
Mhm.
they're all welded steel conduit and sheet metal. There ain't no plastic there. That's all steel.
That is so cool.
Yeah, and then like it's obviously got a fiberglass sun visor in this particular rendition. It's not on the truck at this exact moment.
We did away with that.
Yeah, it's not on there at this exact moment. And then I got to show you this too.
Show the interior.
I want to get the one. Let me show that. I want to show them this one here
Yeah.
because this one's really a great picture. It's in Peterson's Vans and Trucks. And this particular article was called change of hearts. And then it shows the truck with its original black interior. And then that's the interior I put in there when I was 19 years old.
Oh, that's the hardwood floor you was telling me about.
Joe did the railings, the hardwood floor. The bar was built by a friend of mine named Bobby Grabner. He's deceased now. He's dead.
Yeah, but I did like the woodwork, like the wood floor and the handrails.
It was a beautiful floor.
Yeah, it was eye catching.
There's a lot of girls like that floor. Beautiful.
I bet. Let me get some of these roof. We cut the roof off, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's scary, isn't it?
I'd done quit, tell you the truth.
Well,
I'd have got lost right there.
Joe was there
Well,
pushing. Joe was there pushing me.
Let me just tell you something. That picture right there, it certainly looks scary, but when you have a guy like Dale, who I have witnessed personally, I watched them take an ass end hit car and cut two vehicles on a diagonal, put them back together, and you wouldn't know that they touched it. That's
For real.
That's his ability. And so that I wasn't afraid about doing that because, I mean, look at it. I mean,
Hey, what is that?
I mean, we done
That's
cut
a
an,
hell of a sunroof. That's all I got to say.
dude, we cut an asshole in that truck.
Well,
Let me
we
tell
did.
you.
This is kind of all the hell, isn't it?
But if you look at it though, today, the gull wing doors fit, everything fits.
We had to take them front doors off and weld
Yeah.
the insides were the inside factory doors.
Yeah,
were,
the doors
rotted
were
to
like
hell.
rotted to snot. It was really not good. I didn't want to give up on those mirrors. So like you see those mirrors in that picture?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we took them doors off of there and rebuilt the entire bottoms of them because they were just rotted. They were rotted right out.
It's a pretty truck though, Dink.
And it was just sitting in the junkyard. You know what I'm saying? It was just sitting there.
I think I'd had to cry a little bit, Dale.
Huh.
You see that sitting in a junkyard.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the guy that bought it from me, I was coming back from Texas and I sold it to get back here. I gave it away. Because back in Texas, the guy would have paid me what the truck was valued at, but he couldn't get a loan for that because it just wouldn't,
Nobody would give you money.
so.
And that's the frame of what we cut out of the roof.
Wow.
And there's the donor roof right there next to
Yeah.
it.
Heart transplant.
Now, how did you get the windshield all to match up? Did you have to use the front part of the
Well,
car?
well,
Hey, Joe, I want to give you a good one.
I'm going to have to eat some crow here on that one
Uh-oh.
because I told him it would all fit, it would work. And then we put that whole window system in with the original white one.
Mm-hmm.
And when we went to put the other glass in, it wouldn't fit. It just was not the same. So,
And what I tell
so
you,
go
Joe,
back to that other picture, one you just had on the ground.
Let's see what.
Yeah, the one with the frame, with red frame sitting on the ground.
Yeah, right here.
So what we did is right beyond that front glass area, we went back in there about 6-8 inches and we just cut it off and we just put it back. After we cut it out, we put it back.
Yeah.
And it started from there.
Yeah, because it was what you needed to make that glass fit. It just would not fit otherwise. So if you look at the white roof where it's got the legs sticking down,
Yeah.
we just went back up in there 6 inches,
inches, yeah.
and just cut it out.
it wasn't rotted. The part we put back on was still good, but we had to have it so the windshield would
Yeah, the
fit.
glass just wouldn't fit when we mocked it up and tried to get it in there. So we reverted to the to that other metal.
Right. So you had to, it was narrow at the top or?
It's just
They're
different
two
shape.
different shapes. And also they're an application. One's a gasket seal and the other's like a glue in.
It's gasket seal with a bead in the middle of it. The other one's just a gasket.
Yeah, it was a little bit different. They were slightly different, about the same, but not really the same.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
Well, it's like anything else. It's trial and error. If it don't work, fix it.
Truck came a long way though, Dink.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see it back in one piece.
I'm glad you said it because it's probably been crushed in a few months. I mean,
I think someone would have bought it. Someone other than Joe would have got it sooner or later, I think, because he had just put it up for sale. He had just put it on the market for sale.
Well,
So-
when Doug got it and then gave it to Raleigh and then to Dale, and then to me, that was one day.
Yeah, that was like bing, bing, bing,
So that was, I believe that was a Saturday. So that Monday,
You left.
I called, found out what the deal was, and then I left that following Friday, and I went down to pick it up.
Right. Well, look, out of curiosity, how much did you sell the van to the guy for?
When I sold it
Yeah.
in Texas,
Yeah.
$10,250.
For real?
$10,250, and I cried all the way back to Ohio with my wife sitting next to me. I wanted to slap her and throw her out of the truck. So we should have left all their shit and brought the truck back.
Oh, believe me, they could find their way back home. So
Yeah, that's what I should have done. I should have done that, Dink. But I was young and dumb.
yeah.
I was young and dumb. I knew body work, but I was young and dumb the other way. So yeah,
Wow, that's just unreal.
yeah, it is. But
Oh, I want to ask.
Go ahead.
I want to ask questions about the interior of this thing, though.
Oh,
this
well,
is,
the interior was. I built a lot of interiors, and I wanted mine. I mean, those seats are what is it called? Stylar seats, they were called.
Yep, Skylar.
Skylar. And then I made my own trim for around the bottom of them because I didn't like all the crap hanging out. Those footrests in there were cut. That was a wine barrel cut in half. My neighbor Joe gave me an old 1949 wine barrel. I cut it in half and put wood in the bottom to screw it together, and I padded it all with 1/2 inch and put mushroom tops on to sit on.
For real?
Yeah, you could sit around and play this. I had a table tennis game in there, ski shoot and table tennis and ping pong game and all
Yeah,
that.
right there.
I had all
Yeah.
that stuff on the TV.
Now, wait till you hear this, Dink. When I went to pick up the truck, it was still in it.
No kidding.
I have everything you see there. I have, even though the condition isn't so good.
Even the stools that he was talking about?
The TV, the pong game, and the bar, I have those, and the footrest.
And the seats were still there.
Yeah, the seats were there. I have a guy named Dave Schroll out of Akron. He's going to be redoing the seats and the upholstery and the interior. I'm trying to find that fabric, but it's very difficult.
Find something close?
It's close, but it's just no cigar.
Yeah.
Some of the materials sometimes is not as easy as you might think.
Yeah.
I bet. I can't believe it. Let's see. Let me hit this one.
Yeah, those were the
yeah.
armrests that I built right there.
They were pretty.
Now those can be still used, right? I mean, the armrest, all that back there can still be used, right?
Yeah, well, it's going to be refurbished and used, yes. So, and if you noticed, if you look at the circle holes he's got in there, those were built to hold a glass ashtray.
Yeah, those had glass.
Yeah, it's over there.
Yep, they had glass ashtrays in them.
Wow.
That's a great shot of the heart window, how it came through. It was 3 inches deep. And it came through that way. And then if you look right to the right of that, that was like a control console. It had red ruby plexiglass in it, and that's where his stereo controls, and he had all different kinds of.
You could open the doors from there.
Yeah,
too.
open the doors. He had all different kinds of stuff there for the operation of the truck.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that's still in there. Yeah. This is this one.
It's pretty. It was pretty beat up though, Dink, after sitting in the junkyard.
Well,
for all
that's
the time.
the pictures right there of it in
Yeah.
the junkyard. That's
I mean,
it.
that's-
Now, hey, check that top right-hand corner. Did you notice that the fan is still there?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's one of them old 12-volt circulation fans.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And of course, they had a big mirror in the side door there. So if you were inside there, and you wanted to look at anything, you had a big mirror there, stainless steel mirror.
Yeah, that was like a piece of stainless. If you look at that gull wing door.
And all the ceiling was done in
Oh.
stainless steel in between the beams. Which
Did you
was,
what now?
Well, on the gull wing door, if you see how that's cut out and it looks dark,
Right.
that was actually stainless steel.
For real.
Mirror. Yeah, it was polished, shiny like a mirror.
Wow.
yeah, the
That's
truck
good.
had a lot of features.
Yes, it did. Now,
Yeah.
this little thing, this heart-shaped table you got here, did you make that?
No, Bobby Grabner, a friend of mine who was a cabinet maker. I told him, Bobby, I need something to carry 2 whiskey bottles, 4 shot glasses that nobody will know what it is. So he made me a real thin black Formica bar that I mounted to the wall. And my dad and mom gave me some old vintage shot glasses, which were still in there.
Still in there. when I
45,
got-
50-year-old shot glasses. And that bar, if you got pulled over, they didn't know what that bar was.
No.
The place to put the all the truck-in things
The
on.
dash plaques.
Dash plaques.
Yeah.
And you
Just
unhook the
something hanging
top,
on the wall. That's all that was. Yeah.
hold her down, and you got your booze and you're ready to go.
So if you look up there, you can see that he had the wood, those like fake wood beam ceilings, the stained
Right.
glass. But you could see how they started to come down because of all the water that was coming through the roof.
Yeah.
It
Mhm.
just deteriorated everything.
Now the bottom half of this thing wasn't rotten, was it? The floor and the
Oh, the floor was gone.
Floor was gone. That's what
It-
Joe and what's his name?
Yeah,
rebuilt.
I have it. It's going to have to be completely redone. But the beautiful thing about that is I know how to put it back. I could just build another one that looks just like it. Nobody'd never know that it was different.
Yeah, the water
okay.
ate the yolk to hell.
Yeah, because the
Did
wood was just laying on the floor. And it just cupped and turned it all into just garbage.
I don't think he realizes that's glued together piece by piece.
Yeah, if you look back, I don't know if do you have a picture of the floor in there? Like, when it was
I
new?
don't think when it was new, I don't think I have a good one.
All right, so let's go back to that picture. I'll show you this one. If you look real careful, if you just take that
this
down
one?
for a moment.
Okay.
That's carpeting. So you see that floor right there?
Right.
Okay, now you see how it's like on an angle, 45?
Yeah.
Well, those were pieces of 3/4 inch wide oak glued next to each other, piece by piece. They were only 3/4 of an inch wide. So there was
Really?
probably, there
Yeah.
were probably 500 of them across to make that panel.
Yeah, to really see the floor, Deke, it was precision built.
500 is probably too many. Let's just say it's probably 100.
And then there was a trim built around them. Those floors could be put in a truck in an hour.
Oh
All
yeah.
screwed in from the bottom, the
We
whole
had,
floor.
we had 4 to 8 screws in each panel, and you could, like, if you had to like work on the truck, you could get underneath the truck. It had stainless steel screws. You could pull those panels right out and lift the floor out. So if you had to do like a repair, you didn't burn your floor up.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, we had it hooked up so it could be, you could maintenance it.
Yeah,
So
it
you
was
kind of
pretty
have them when it's pressed together.
Well, what I did was I took a piece of 3/4 inch plywood, and then I glued 1/4 inch pieces of oak, 3/4 of an inch wide to it, one against each other. And then we cut that panel on a 45-degree angle. So all the wood would be going crossways instead of straight like a bowling alley. And then I took 3-inch oak and then I bordered it all the way around the outside. So when you put the panels together, it looked like, I'm not going to say a parquet floor, but you could tell they were sections. And when you looked at it as a whole, it was pretty cool.
Pretty impressive,
It was
Dink.
pretty
It was
neat, yeah.
impressive.
I believe you. I believe you. Wish I could see that. You gonna do that again? In
Oh,
this
yeah,
thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool. Man, I can't wait to see it, to tell you the truth.
It's gonna be really wild. Yeah. I mean, there's other guys, like my mechanic that helped me with the motor work, Willie O'Loughlin. He did a lot of work on the motor. I bought the motor out of a hot rod race car. Willie set the motor up. It had a 900 Holly on it. He set it up with a dual point distributor and everything. That thing ran, weighing as heavy as it ran in the low 13s in a 1/4 mile.
Really?
The thing was really fast. I mean, it was definitely real fast in the day. I mean, there's probably trucks way faster now. Guys are putting things in there like jet motors, but for the day, she was fast.
So this was Detroit.
That was Ohio State Fairgrounds. I think that was when
So I want to show you this here. This will just give you a small idea of when he would these trophies are just like a smattering. I mean, like when I say a smattering, I mean a very small smattering of how many he had. One day I went to his house and he had a 10 by 10 bedroom and you couldn't even enter the bedroom because it was so stuffed full of trophies. I mean, it was just floor to ceiling, wall to wall trophies. There's probably 400 or 500 in there.
had a lot of trophies. I don't have many more though, Dink.
You don't?
No.
What'd you do?
Well, actually, I had problems with a wife and I sold them to get them out of the house because she was busting them.
You
She
got a
was
real
like,
bad.
I sold them to a trophy place real cheap because the guy said he used them for kids events and he'd put different tops on them. And, I said, hey, get them out of here. So I sold them all for, I had like 147 trophies in the house at the time. And I think I got $100 for them. $100. Some of them were 6 foot, 7 foot tall.
Like I said, you
We had some big
couldn't get in the room. You
We had
could
some-
not get inside the room. It was just,
Remember when we carried them big trophies on
Yeah.
the stage?
yeah.
Me, you crazy yet? Right, carrying the trophy, all 4 of us. Oh my
Oh.
God. We had
Hey,
some times.
I bet. Back then you could have some good times. You can't do it much anymore.
It was pretty fun. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, Rick Ward asked, says, Joe, any pics of the other bands you're working on?
Well, yeah. Geez.
I don't think
Where
we
do I
can see them
start?
now, though. And, you know,
I have a
And,
69. I have a 69 that I did some work on that's current. I have my 77 blue van. I just added some flames to it. I still have my original van from when I was 18 years old. I still have it.
I wish I had mine.
Did I
God, I
walk
wish I had
the
mine.
players on when you were
he-
17?
Well, and that was the part of the deal is he welded flares on my truck and I put a floor in his van. So we kind of
Oh.
traded.
That was way back.
And that particular truck's got a wood dash in it. I'll never forget that. Oh, yeah, here's a picture of, this is what it looked like back in the 70s. You see those bumpers right there?
Uh-huh.
Those are 4-inch thick, 6 inches tall ash. And if you notice, they curve. Those are
Yeah.
all one piece. That's all one piece wood. I carved them out of a massive hunk of wood and then shaped them and sanded them. And then I don't know if you can see my wood dash. Yeah, you can
See a little
probably.
Yeah, you see it. Mhm.
Yeah, so check this out. That truck was brand new. It was still under warranty. I'm 19 years old, and I was in a van club called Misty Mountain Vans, and I'll never forget this. A guy named Nick Chiarello comes over, and he looks at me and he goes, "You just tore the dashboard out of your truck." And I said, "Yeah, I know. I'm going to put in a wood one." And he looked at me like I was like I was crazy.
Oh,
And,
see, why not? I mean, you know.
Well, and it's still there today, and truck still runs. I mean, that one needs a lot of work, but that's another van story by itself.
Our photographer, Sharkman, he's got them all, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got a handful.
Well,
You're the picture man.
on the paparazzi.
Yeah, you're the,
So anyhow, yeah, I'm working on, I have a couple of them, and the 77 I drive all the time. You know, in the summertime, I drive
Blue
to the blue one I
who
drive.
built
to-
that?
Actually, believe it or not, and that's a great story too. Dale actually built that truck too, but here's that story. The blue silver truck that I have was built by a guy, he owned it, his name was Dale Moyer. And Dale Moyer used to work for a company called DNS, and he used to be their, what would you say, their, no, I'm not going to show him that.
Oh, come on. That's
That's good, Joe.
Okay.
a family show.
Good. It's one of my van
Well,
shops.
there's the blue van,
Uh-huh.
and there's the Scarlet Lady, and that's my brother-in-law. So they're showing his stuff. But anyhow,
Okay.
but
I
anyhow,
could have day without that, tell you the truth.
so anyhow, back in the day, Dale, after he had quit DNS Vans, comes to Dale and says, "I want you to build my truck." So he put a gull wing door, front and rear, and they started working on the truck. And Dale was going to put a wood dash in his truck. Notice I said was.
Uh.
So fast forward, didn't finish the truck and sold it to another friend of ours, Bob Bear. Well, it sat in Bob's garage
Shit forever.
for almost 15 years. And about, let's say, probably 8-10 years ago,
Yep.
I just went to him. I said, "Listen, that van ain't doing you no good in that garage. Why don't you sell it to me?" And I took it and I finished it. I put a dash in it,
Interior.
completed the interior, finished it, and I drive it to the truck-ins.
Yep.
And it's got 100-some thousand on it.
You take it to Autorama too.
Yeah, I've had it in Autorama. I've had it a couple different places.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a nice looking truck. The paint's old. You know,
Yeah,
it's a
the
lacquer
paint,
paint
the
job.
paint on that truck, that blue van is, it was done in 1980.
Yeah.
So let's do that math. What is that?
40 years.
40 years old.
Yeah.
And it's still, and Dale put that paint on that truck and it's still holding up today.
And the final top.
And,
Wow.
I oil that top like, because it
Yeah.
still looks good. It's
Yeah,
still
you gotta
in
put
good.
that shit on the
Oh, it
top.
had a vinyl top on it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's the blue van's got a vinyl top on it. The Scarlet Lady will have a vinyl top on it. The 69 will have a vinyl top on it someday, just not today.
yeah.
And then my green van that I had when I was 18, it had a vinyl top on it. So
We
we
vinyl,
just-
we vinyl top.
we just kind of like the vinyl top thing. It just,
Yeah. Sounds
They
that
give-
way.
they give it class. Well, they really give you your vehicle a lot of
It's
class.
like your LTD van or yeah.
Yeah, I remember the Landau roofs back in the day, you know.
Well, and that's Dale's truck. If you look at
Scarlet
those
Lady,
pictures,
you
you
look
go
at-
back there, you
That's
can
where
see
that came
them.
from.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey,
Trip around the gutters, yeah.
So here's like, this is the front cover of Van World. And that's Dale's truck right there. And you can see the Landau roof on that.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was one of the first renditions of
Yeah,
the.
Thunderbird door handles, a lot of different stuff on it.
So,
Hey, Dale. Wait
Yes.
a minute. You know Michelle Kinney?
yes.
Oh yeah, it's my niece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His mom just reminded me of how the neighbors used to all come over to check out the van when Uncle Dale came to visit. The
Yeah.
van was very cool.
It was a van show wherever we went.
Gave Marie a drink.
Yeah. You want a cocktail? Yeah, let's have
Yeah,
one.
gave Marie. Hey, the bar's full. Come on over.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Those were the days.
that's
Oh, my
cool.
Lord. Those were the days. If Skip was alive, we'd have him here with us.
Oh my gosh.
We'd have my brother, he'd have a bottle of Jack Daniels on the table,
Or a bottle of
or
vodka.
a bottle of vodka.
Wouldn't matter.
Or both.
Or,
Wow.
or both, depending on what he was chasing that day.
Oh man. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, I'll tell you what, let's get to where you're doing the work on it now. Looking at some.
Yeah, that's in Dale's garage. That is Dale's dad's garage where he started the business in 1939.
No, 1959.
59, sorry,
Yeah.
59. And that is where we were doing where we got it to that stage. And you can see we added an antenna hole in the back.
Yeah.
French in a hole.
Front.
Yeah, there's the French antenna hole. That was not a part of the truck in the original magazine shots. I just wanted the antenna hole there instead of in the front, up in the front. I always liked those back antenna holes. I thought they looked cool.
Because they're a pain in the butt, Joe, be truthful.
Yeah, they're hard to do.
Pain in the butt to do. That's
Yeah,
what
they're
it
just
was.
pain in the butt to do. But if you look at the truck though, that's pretty solid. I
It's
mean,
pretty
it's pretty solid. It's looking
Looking good.
really good.
Now, how did you do the heart in the back door?
That back door, me and my brother, we built the whole door. We made that whole door, Dink. That was made by us.
So
Is
they,
that a steel door?
No,
No, it's fiberglass.
Sprayed it in a mold. Actually, we used Crazy Ed's truck, the side of Crazy Ed's truck. We made a mold off the side of Crazy Ed's truck. And then we sprayed the fiberglass on the mold. And then we put the frame in around the mold and sprayed the fiberglass on the inside of that. It was a big procedure. And then for the door, we drew out a heart. We cut the heart out and then we took blocks of 2x2 wood and matted that around where the window was going to go in. Had to roll it in. It was a lot of work. And then the plexiglass window, of course, screwed in from behind. And it was still in good shape when we took it apart, wasn't it?
yeah,
For after all them years,
the door was still in good
The
shape.
door
The
was-
plexiglass though was like
junk.
the sun was just destroyed.
but that's
Right.
about 2 to 3 inches, that back window. In fact, if you see the one magazine shot, my wife who passed away, Jane, she's looking out the back window. That's when I was at the Ohio State Fairgrounds, a show there with the Dallas Cowgirls. They did a TV show out of my van called Pulse. I never got a
Really?
tape of it. They were supposed to give me a tape. Yeah, the Dallas Cowgirls were sitting in there with their little whatevers they wore back in the day. And the guys, I forgot the guy's name, but the TV show was called Pulse. It was like the Merv Griffin show.
For
And-
real.
They filmed
Okay,
it.
so if you want to switch over here and just take that down for a second, here's what it looked like from the inside. So that's looking from the inside out, and then the one you have was looking from the outside in.
Right. Now, did you make the plug itself with the heart in it, and then?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
he cut that out. That's what he was saying.
Yeah, we made the door, cut the heart out. Yeah, we made the heart and
And
everything.
he hand formed that piece by piece. So they would take hunks of blocks of wood and then fashion them in around and around and around until it gave them the shape that they wanted.
That's the only picture.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is just too cool.
Well, back in the day, if you
It's Van. We made a mold off.
yeah, back in the day, if you looked at what they did at the shop, we're not talking about no high tech.
No.
We're talking about 3 or 4 individuals that had an extreme amount of skill and a handful of tools.
Yeah.
And that to me makes it so much better because they didn't have all the props to make them something. They made the something.
Yeah. You had to make the thing to make the thing. Kind of
That's
thing.
right. And if you needed to make a tool, you just made the goddamn thing and you just did what you had to do. And that's like when I was 19 and I'm hanging down at their shop, I'm watching them do stuff. And believe me, when I was telling you, I was soaking that stuff in like a sponge because they were doing stuff that most guys wouldn't have the whereabouts to where to start, let alone to have the vision of where it's going to finish. And that's something that if you look at the Scarlet Lady as a whole, Dale had that vision. He had the end vision before he put the first thing to it. You know, he kind of already had that. And that's why when I had the opportunity to get involved and buy it and bring it back, I already knew because I've known him personally, you know, I already knew he had that vision. So all I want to do is just bring it back to as close as I can get it as I can.
New electronics.
The electronics, well,
They've changed so much electronics.
I'm just going to say one thing. Dale wasn't exactly an electrician. That's all I'm going to tell you. That's all I'm going to say, and I'm not going to say anymore.
Bubblegum and baling wire. Yeah, you can do things, you know.
Look good behind the wall, Dink.
Hey, there was a lot of bell wire in that truck, let me tell you. A lot of bell wire.
I hear you. I hear you. Matter of fact, you gave me a picture of him with it there.
Yep.
Yeah, look, I look like a midget there, Dink.
Well, we had the truck lifted
Truck was
up
lifted up. I said, Joe, I look like a midget in that picture. You go, yeah.
like a cone head.
Yeah, cone. Yeah, that was a lot of sand in it. Like he said, I had someone come in and help me sand around them taillights because my hands at the time were really cracked and bleeding.
Yeah, because that's just it was a lot of handwork. But, you know, when you think of the amount of time that I've had the truck, and it's been 12 years, imagine that if I wouldn't be distracted by all my other projects, I probably could have gotten it done much faster, you know. But when it comes to something like this, Dink, if you don't take your time and do it right, you might as well not even do it.
Sure is pretty, though. Sure is pretty.
It is. I always thought it was a beautiful van.
Yep, and it's all primered, all one color. I think I sent you some pictures of it up on a trailer. That's where I'm taking it out to I have another property in Madison that I had just purchased. I'm working on that right now. That's where I'm going to retire. I have a bigger barn out there. I've got a little bigger facility. I'm just trying to
Work on the roof out there, right?
Yeah, the roof has all been replaced on the barn. It's all brand new. And then what's nice about the new place is that I can spray or I can do the vinyl on this roof in that new facility because I don't have height restrictions. I have like 16-foot ceilings, so I can do just about any damn thing I want to do out there where my garage is now. There's just barely enough space to work in, you know, because if you go back to those ones in Dale's garage there, you can clearly see that you ain't getting up on top there and spraying nothing. You're probably about 14 inches away from the ceiling.
Yeah, Joe had another garage for me. That garage is 29 by 39 now, but it's got a short ceiling in it.
Yeah, that's another thing I did in between was added onto Dale's garage, but that's just another small project.
It was a weekend job. Come on, Joe.
Yeah, okay.
A few weekends.
Now, that right there was when it came from the sandblaster, and that's what Dale was bitching about. If you look at those flares.
Yeah, it took out.
Yeah, the only thing, if you notice what I did is I had them tape out the mural and the heart and the side scoop because I didn't want them touching those because of the plastic work. That was too much to redo. So I had them just leave that alone. But if you look at the rest of the truck and you can see inside, I mean, it's blasted clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There ain't not a speck of rust on that
They
thing
definitely
anymore.
tore the shit out of it. There's no doubt.
Yeah, but all for the right reasons, you know, like if you're gonna restore something, you want to know that you don't have to go back and do it again. You know, that's
Yeah. For real.
doing it twice is not an option.
You need to get the motor in it sometime and drive it.
The motor's
No.
done. I sent you a
Yeah.
picture of the motor.
What is that? 318?
It's a 340. That's
340.
69.
69 340 with about
335 horse factory.
335 400 horse. That's going to be at least 400
It was an
horsepower.
S block with tri-power originally.
Yeah, that's going to be a proud little horse there.
Yeah. Look at that motor.
And then that trans sitting on the floor, I have a 513 trans. That's an overdrive trans. So we took that out of a 94, I think, and it bolts right up. It'll bolt right up.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Now,
when you put it on the freeway, you know.
Yeah. Now, when you paint this thing, which scheme are you going to go with? The original paint scheme, or are you going to go back to?
It's going to go right to this one right here. And
Clean.
yeah, if you really look really close at that picture, and I don't know if the camera can allow it justice, but all the borders on that truck have a maroon Cadillac underbase underneath the
red
candy. So it's like a stripe that goes and it borders all the different panels, but it's so subtle it just blends in.
All the panels, about 40 hours of taping them panels off.
I bet. I mean,
it was a silver base with a purple on the panels, and then the candy red went over all that.
That's kind of a touch you didn't really have to do, but you took the time to do it.
And let me tell you that
very good.
In my opinion, and I'm not going to speak for Dale because he's the builder, but in my opinion, this is when the truck looked its best.
I like that paint job.
That's when it had the most accolades and the most, what would you say?
It glowed.
Attention was when it had that paint job on it.
That's the one I like to go with.
Yeah, and when I tell you that thing glows like a Christmas tree bulb, it does. It glows. It's like iridescent, shiny candy. I mean, it's
in the sunlight, in moonlight and sunlight. It was really.
It's like a Christmas tree bulb. That's the only thing I can explain.
Change pretty much in the sunlight and everything.
Oh yeah.
It was beautiful.
Like you hit it in a certain way, and you'd see that silver underbase, and you'd see the candy pushing through right there, and then it would look darker over here and darker over there.
Yeah. Love that stuff.
And it would just reverse. It would go silver shiny
Nobody
there.
really does that.
And it would be the opposite in the other direction. And people were like, how did you do that? Well, you're not doing it. The sun's doing it. You know? And it's really just how you painted it, really.
Yeah, they get weird. They don't know things like that. Like
yeah,
I used to paint cars, but
there's no pearl. All it is a straight silver underbase with the maroon Cadillac borders and the straight candy.
Candy apple red, yep.
Just like they used to do it back in the 50s.
Back in the day.
Yep, back in the day.
That's what they call it, a blast from the past. I think.
Oh yeah, I love the old stuff. I love old stuff. New crap I can do without.
Well, and isn't it crazy that now the vans are the old stuff?
Yeah, really. Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Well, you got anything else with you there?
Here's another one. I think this.
Old pictures now, you know.
Well, this was Sport Trucking, and like I said, this is the front cover of two of them. You know, the truck was on the front cover of these two, and then one here.
It was on more than that.
This was Vans and Trucks. That was an interior shot. That was on the front cover.
There's a big layout inside there.
Yeah, from what I gather from Dale, and I've not been able to put together all the magazines, but Dale has recollection that the van was in 21 van magazines and on the front cover of 8.
Yeah.
I've only been able to find about 6 or 7, but it's only because I've only been able to find 6 or 7. You know, there's a lot, you know, you find that guy that's got full copies of all the different van magazines, you'll probably find them in that collection. You know how it is trying to find this stuff. It's not real easy.
Oh yeah. I forgot about these.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that was some of the people that helped me with Yeah, I had some, those were people that donated stuff to the truck. Goodyear Tire Company gave me tires every year.
Really?
Stahl Industries gave me a new chrome grill every year. Cal Chrome, they did some chroming for me and didn't charge me bumpers and stuff. M Associates, that was a machine shop that did a lot of machine work for me. JJR Paint Company, they furnished me the candy apple red. The first candy apple reds that went on the truck, they weren't able to go in the sunlight. The sun would eat the shit out of them. They'd go away.
Really?
They would give me more candy whenever I needed it to recolor stuff. And then after a while, they got a candy red that doesn't fade anymore. So that in the Clover Car Center, that's the guys that I got the top material from. They gave me a good deal on that all the time. So
then in the other picture,
there you go, Willie and Lou.
And Shag and Amos were the shop dogs.
And Joe Sullens right there.
Yeah, that was me with the wood goods.
Wild Man Ben Carr did a lot of the wiring that was right.
Yeah, that was it. Well, that's why I said Dale's not an electrician.
Scott and Tim, that's my two boys. They're in their 50s now, but
Who's Crazy Ed?
Crazy Ed was just what I said. He was Crazy Ed. We had a picture of him.
Where's that picture of Crazy Ed? Did you put it away?
Yeah, he had a picture of Crazy Ed. He was, if you saw a truck in from 1973 or 4 when they started on, Ed was at all of them. Ed was there. I mean, Ed would say, "Hey, God damn it, you can't see a goddamn penis. You ain't never seen it." He talked.
He talked very gravelly voice.
He was gravelly. He was just
Colorful.
Yep. And he liked to drink Jack Daniels and beer was the wash.
He's the first guy that threw up in the back of Scarlet on the floor.
Oh, you're kidding me.
God damn it, I'm sorry. You were driving too fast.
All right, so the guy in the gray right there, that's Crazy Ed.
Oh man.
Anybody that would know Ed, he's a one of a kind. He's passed since, but
Yeah,
I can only tell you that
he was a lot of fun.
Crazy Ed was just a personification of the name. When I tell you
Right?
crazy, here's
He
a
earned it.
here's a nice profile shot.
He didn't like to wear much at the truck ends, just a pair of shorts.
Pair
That
of
was
shorts, and that was it.
That's it.
Ed served I think 2 or 3 tours in Vietnam.
Yeah,
Really?
And
3 tours. Yeah, he was in Vietnam.
and he came back, and I'm going to tell you, there wasn't a better guy. That guy gave you the shirt off his back.
Yeah,
Is that right?
Wonderful man.
he was one of a kind.
Yeah, we're starting to lose a bunch of them now, you know.
Yeah.
Well, we are, and then the other part of this too is that, you know, when you think of Crazy Ed, you think of Dale, myself, a guy named Roy, we call him Shark Man. Gary, we used to call him Troll.
Yeah,
And then the other guy we alluded to with Comfortably Numb, we used to call him Numb Nuts.
yeah. Bulldog. Don't forget
And then
Bulldog.
don't forget Bulldog. We had a group called the Willoughby Wackos.
Dick Road.
And let me tell you what, that was an interesting group. That's all I can tell you.
Sounds like
When
it.
we come to the group, we were always at the truck ends, and we always had Willoughby Wackos down. We had Stein down there. Welcome to Dick Road.
Yep, come on down.
Come on down to Dick Road. We'll all be down.
Right.
We got
Yep.
the Olympic beer down here, the Olympia beer.
And we used to just have so much fun.
Bring a PA system.
It was crazy how much fun we used to have. In fact, the infectious laughing was so much that you'd get knots in your stomach. It was just so incredibly funny.
We did strange stuff, I think.
Yeah.
We couldn't do what we did back then now.
Yeah, because it was.
They would never tell us.
And you got to remember, it was indicative of times. Okay, if you kind of look at that Sleaze Lake trailer, there's
that was us. Sleaze Lake, what we do, that was everywhere.
That was everywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Sleaze Lake was all the truck-ins. They were all like that. I mean, you could
Go
do
and
whatever.
just do whatever you
want to
wanted
walk around naked and play harmonica all
Two-
day. Hey,
You want-
walk around naked, play harmonica,
So there
play the
was
blues, right?
a couple of rules were there are no rules, and the second thing is just don't mess with people's property, and everything
Everything.
take care of itself. You know.
Yeah.
And,
I go
and
to
I-
truck ends now. There's just a lot of them that I really don't want to see naked. You know what I mean?
well, yeah.
Yeah, we
Well,
go.
Well, we're not that damn young anymore either, so you know. I mean, I get it,
Yeah, it was.
but it's all been fun, and I can't tell you how much I thank you for doing all this because you know, for me and Dale, this is a great walk down memory road. And
Correct.
for you, I'm glad you're doing this.
Yes.
Because there's no people that are taking the time, you know, and
Thank
we
you.
really appreciate that.
I'm sure your show is going to get bigger and bigger, Dink.
I hope it does. I really
Be
do. I
more
mean, 'cause-
people. Be more people.
yeah, because I'm having fun. I mean, you know, I ain't had no fun in a while, so I'm having a good time talking to y'all. I'd love to talk some more.
Sure.
Like if anybody else got some projects, you know, let me know, because I'd love to have them on here.
Yeah. Well, there's so many different ways that this could go. Do you want to talk about just the fabrication of trucks? That could be one whole thing. Or do you want to start bringing up truck in memories? And I mean, gosh, that could be an endless cavern.
You know, that's what I'd really like to do. You know, like the new projects is, you know, it's fine, but I like what you're doing. You know,
Yeah.
you took an old notorious band pretty much and you saved it, which is cool to me. I mean,
Well,
you got to
and it was
save all
cool.
you can.
Yeah, and it was cool to me too. And the largest reason was because I did work on it when I was 19. I was 19 years old when I did that. I'm 61 now. And when you think of that, I can't tell you when I was hanging at the shop there at 19 years old, I thought it was pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
Because I was doing stuff on trucks that most professional guys couldn't do. And
Mhm.
and I was young. And I'm going to tell you who's another guy that's going to prove to be that is Dave Brooks. He's a gifted individual, and he's on that same track. I mean, he can do whatever he wants and build whatever he wants.
Dave Brooks.
Yeah, Matchstick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got matter of fact, back not so long ago, I made videos.
Yep.
And right now I had a whole box of these and I don't know where they're at. I can't find them. And I got a Matchstick on here. He's hilarious when he was doing the burnouts at the Nats.
Yeah.
And I also started giving some of those away and I can't find them. So I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. But yeah, Matchstick's cool.
So that's what I was alluding to back in 2010. Dave was going to a school here in Cleveland, ITT Tech, where he was, you know, learning his body work and stuff like that. Or should I say attending a class, because he already knew the stuff. Like the kid's gifted. He knows what he's doing. Yep. And so him and I were working on the truck at night, and actually I can give Dave a lot of credit for sticking his finger in my you-know-where and getting me moving and getting me going back on it, because I'm not easily distracted, but I got a lot of different sticks in the fire at any one given time.
Yeah.
You know, I have a business where my sister and I are in business, and then I'm a construction superintendent by day. I had some rental houses and buildings and things, and you know, so when you start taking all that and putting it together, your time constraints they're pretty terrific every week. You know, they're for when you have time for yourself. And Dave would push me, and it was great because we were getting a lot of stuff done. And right now the truck is in a position where I can. I'm going to put the brake lines in it. I'm going to start doing the suspension upgrade, and what I mean by that is we're going to put like all brand new bushings and just get it back to its 100% stock value. Right. And then I've got that motor to put back in. The motor's already done. The trans is already done. And like I said, Dave Schroll is going to start working on some of the interior parts, and we're going to start piecing this thing together. So at least I can get it on the road so we can start figuring out anything else that needs to be done with it. You know how that goes. You never finish it right away. You put it together, you drive it a little bit, and then find out what you got, and then put the finish on it.
Let me add to this. Yeah, the interior in that thing was always built that you could ride and sit in there, Dink. A lot of the vans at them back in the day, they were pretty interiors, but you really couldn't sit in there very well. They weren't.
Yeah.
They looked really nice, but if you tried to sit in there or do anything, it was like baby furniture.
Yeah.
Scarlet Lady, you could put people in the back and drink and ride around with the door open.
Yeah.
Throw up on the floor. Ed did that.
Yeah.
God damn it! I'm sorry. I feel what you're doing. You were there that day. Unbelievable. But yeah, Joe will do a good job with it.
Okay. I got
I'm a feeling guy.
I got Doug Virtual Vanner. You know
Yep,
who he is?
he's the guy that was the one that called Raleigh.
Really?
Yep, that's Doug.
I ain't going to try to do his last name because I've been killing some last names. I mean, you can ask Rob. What's his name? But anyway, it's please ask Joe about Englishtown, 1979. That was the first time I saw it.
Oh my gosh! Well, that's so funny. This is a great story because Dale was too busy and he couldn't go, so he sent my brother-in-law and myself. But he wasn't my brother-in-law at that time. He was just a really good friend.
Mm.
And he worked with Dale, and we took Dale's truck to Englishtown. And let me tell you, we partied from Thursday evening until Sunday when we left.
Really?
Well,
do you remember any of it? That's the question.
Well, here's what I remember, and this is a true story, and I probably shouldn't be admitting this, but this is a true story. We're coming into Englishtown, and it was very, very early Thursday morning. We had left Wednesday night, and Thursday morning we're coming into Englishtown, and I'm sleeping in the passenger side. Tom was driving, and I wake up, and we're sitting at a stoplight at 5 o'clock in the morning, or 6 o'clock in the morning. The sun was coming up. Tom was passed out over the steering wheel with his foot on the brake, and I'm looking around going like, what the hell's going on?
Where the hell are we?
We were in Englishtown, but he was sleeping over top of the steering wheel with his foot on the brake. Things didn't drive and the engine's running. We're sitting there at the stoplight getting ready to go into the park, and he got that far and he just expired because we had driven
as far as I could get it. Huh?
Yeah, we drove all night. I think it was like that's a good 8 hours.
You guys came back with 2 plaques, and I gave them the bullseye. I said, keep them.
Yeah, we won some first place shows there, and for Dale. But what an experience! I mean, to be able to be a part of that and take the truck and do something like that. And Christ, I was 19, 20. That was when the floor was just put in the truck.
You guys were young.
Yeah,
I let you guys take my truck. What was I, drunk?
79. I was 19. Well, you were at the shop and you had deadlines on other vehicles that you had to get done.
I was working on the one with the Saturday night special.
Yeah.
I think I was working on Williams' truck with the.
And you had to get it done, and you just said, "Take my truck and go." And we're like,
"Whatever."
Yeah, we're on
it. We're gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So somebody here. Oh, okay. Go ahead. What?
So getting back to Doug, he is the one that called Raleigh. Raleigh then called Dale. Dale then told me to call me, and that's the guy that was just on there. That was done.
Really?
Yeah. That's cool. That's good stuff.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people on here.
This will be a Dale question. That one from Kathy.
My sister. That's got to be my sister, Kathy Kinney, that popped on there.
Yeah.
I think there was a Scarlet Lady motorcycle. Yeah, there was a.
That is true.
It was called Heart On.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, it was. In fact, that one of the
Mitch
pictures,
Mock.
one of the pictures I brought for Joe today has a picture of it in there. That one that's at the show, it's one of them small photographs. Yeah, it was built. I took it to Autorama. A guy wanted a bike built, and we said, "We'll do it." We did a heart tail light in it and everything else, and it was called Heart On, like heart. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just like the Scarlet Lady, and it sat behind the truck, and it's one of them small pictures, Joe. The small pictures that I brought to you.
Yeah, I was wondering if y'all could see my announcements there. I mean, the comments.
Got to be here somewhere, Joe. I shoved them in one of the magazines or something.
I got those.
No, it would be one from Autorama. Is there one with a trophy, with the pictures with the trophies in it? With the one of the big pictures. Let's see one of the big pictures I brought you. Yeah, one of those. Maybe it's in there.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah, this was it. There's a. If you look in the back,
it's right in this corner right here. You'll see the headlight.
Yeah, I see the headlight and I see the tank. Yeah.
I wish I had some shots.
Yeah,
of that
and the tail light of that bike was a heart, and it was shaped just like a heart. It had the same ruby plex that Dale had in the back of the Scarlet.
And you custom made that?
Yeah, me and my brother built the whole bike. I mean, not the motor, but we custom painted the parts.
There was a lot of extensive work done to the rear fender and the tank.
Yeah. Can't see it in the picture though. I wish you could, but it ended up being an auction bike. They auctioned it at one of Hells Angels something.
Really?
That was called Heart On.
Yeah, Heart On.
Heart on.
A chick with a hair going into a heart and it said Heart On. Yeah, it was pretty unique.
I'd love to see that thing.
Yeah.
You see if you can find some more pictures of it.
Yeah, I wish I
yeah.
did. I don't. I mean, somebody does. There's somebody that has a picture of it. Somewhere there's someone with a picture of that bike at the show.
Yeah.
But I don't know who's got it.
Here's John DeLuca.
If I'd had it back then,
Joe Well looking so.
if I'd had a camera back then, we would have had pictures of all this. But back then, all you had was a camera. You know? All you had was a camera.
Well, that's a great statement by John right there.
Yeah, he seems to know you.
Yeah, John DeLuca and I go back a ways. We did the Vans Across America show together. We were all part of that. And it's kind of funny. He always talks about the big projects. I don't know that I have any small ones.
Joe, you bite off the big projects. Joe, yeah. That's Joe.
That's great that people are actually watching. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, right now I got 32 eyeballs. I had 48 up there a while ago.
Awesome.
That is great. I mean, like I had like 8 or 9, I think, the first night I did this. So, hey, that's cool.
It's going to get better. It's going to be every Saturday night, Dink?
Yeah, that's what I'm planning on.
Every Saturday night be good. That'd be good.
And I've been trying to, I kind of run into a problem with some people on the West Coast not, getting home in time to watch anything. And
well, maybe you make it later if you have to. If you got to get them on.
Yeah, I can make it later.
Joe. No, it wouldn't matter.
Brooks is probably not there.
Well, it's a Saturday too. I mean, how many of them are actually working on Saturday? Can't be a bunch.
No.
Can't be. No.
They're gambling because gambling and drinking. Come on.
Well, you guys, I tell you what, it's been great. Hell, we've been talking an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah,
or
that's so
17
awesome.
minutes.
Been our pleasure, Dink.
And it's been great. I mean, I love the stories, and actually, like I said, I want to follow this project a little bit. Like when you get a little further on, just let me know, and we'll get back on here and we'll talk about it.
When it does its first burnout,
Hey,
some video.
there you go, babe. We'll do that now. We can do that.
Yeah, because
I love a good burnout.
It's going to be a tire roaster, that's for sure.
Did it with a tire roaster before? I'm sure it'll be.
Oh yeah.
It was the rubber off the tires. That's why Goodyear gave me tires because I burned them up. I got arrested a few times.
Well, that's the short wheelbase too.
Yeah.
Them short wheels.
Oh yeah,
are good for that.
Yeah, fry the tires. Yeah.
I tell you what, it's been great, and I'm gonna have to get out of here myself. So
okay. Well, thank you, Dink, and you have a great night.
But thank y'all. You probably helped me out a whole lot with this thing, and I do appreciate it.
And just remember, Dale and Joe signing out.
Yep.
Signing out. Later.
We'll see you, brother.
All right, buds. We'll see y'all later on.
All right, bye now.
Oh, that was great. I hope y'all enjoyed that. This is kind of stuff I'm wanting to put on here. Some old projects, old times. They were the best times. So if whatever you got, let me know. Send me some emails, and we'll do it again. So y'all take it easy. And like I say, keep the greasy side down, the shiny side up, and we'll catch you next time. Later.